Hello and welcome to the Wisconsin Civics Games 2021 Editorial Writing and Cartoon Contest Awards Ceremony. I'm Eve Galanter, a member of the Wisconsin Newspaper Association Foundation's Board of Directors. We've been involved with the Wisconsin Civics Games since its launch in 2019. Launched in part because of what was seen as a disappointing decrease in the number of people interested in public service. My own background in public service caused me to think about how we might bring greater civic and civil engagement into our society and encourage people to think about public service, working in government, or even elected office. And so the Wisconsin Civics Games, a competitive team effort for the high schools across Wisconsin, was launched in 2019. It was very exciting, and we held the finals of the contest right here in the state capitol, with remarks and visits from state legislators, newspaper editors, the Chief Justice of the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and the governor came at the time that awards were being presented. The very first winners, a team of 4 from Platteville High School. Each member of that team received a $2,000 scholarship to any Wisconsin university or college. A good way to start a commitment to civics and civic 2020 and in 2021, like so much else across our country, had to be canceled. But we thought it was very important not to lose the connection we made with high schools all across the state. And maybe it was time to reach down a little bit and include middle school students as well. Because we're a newspaper association and it was coming up on Sunshine Week, where we celebrate open government, it seemed appropriate to think about both an editorial contest for writing, and because not everybody's creative focus is writing, there's also artistry among our students, also an editorial cartoon contest. For the writing contest, we asked the middle school students to write the equivalent of a letter to the editor, which is about 200 words. And for the high school students, a guest column of up to 500 words. And the topic, again, a natural for the Newspaper Association, the First Amendment. And whatever aspect of the First Amendment or right established by the First Amendment appealed to the student who was entering the contest. If you've looked recently at the Wisconsin Civics Games website, wisconsincivicsgames.com, you'll see a slideshow by a 10-year-old named Lily, my granddaughter, who was so interested in the civics games from the very beginning. Let's listen to what she thought.
Hi, I'm Lily. I am interested in the civics games. My grandmother told me about it, and the reason I'm very interested in it is because I was very surprised how many adults can't name the 3 branches of government when I could do it in 3rd grade. And so I think the civics game is a great way to help with that for a lot of generations. And so congrats to the winners, and good luck in the civics games next year.
And now we have 2 additional special guests who have recorded videos in honor of the Games Award ceremony. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, with his commitment to public service, and our former Chief Justice, Justice Patience Rogensack.
Hey everyone, I'm Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, and I'm so proud to be able to join you to celebrate the winners of the Civics Games Editorial Writing and Cartoon Contest. Now, like many of you, I was disappointed that the Civics Games had to be canceled because of the pandemic. But I'm still so glad that the Wisconsin Newspaper Association still decided to find a new and a creative way to be able to engage youth across our state on civics education throughout this wonderful contest. Now, you might think that I'm a little bit biased as someone who works in government, but civics education is incredibly important to the success of our entire state. And so as I sit right here in our state capitol, decisions are being made about laws and policy and about where we invest the tax dollars that Wisconsin residents pay. Now, you have a right to know exactly how those decisions are being made, whether they're about you or our entire democracy. And we know that this depends on people making their voices heard about these decisions. But in order to be able to understand all the amazing things that go on in the state capitol and at all levels of government, we have to be sure that every person is able to receive a strong foundation of civics education. And we especially need young people who are going to be engaged, dedicated, and committed, because the majority of these decisions are going to impact you. Now, people sometimes like to say that young folks don't always know enough or they just don't understand. But I personally know that you all are some of the most well-informed and some of the most justice-oriented people in generations. And with strong civics education, I know that many of you are going to go on and continue to become the next leaders that we all look to, the ones who are going to be making these important decisions about public policy. Now, I know that when I was your age, I didn't necessarily think that I'd be sitting here as lieutenant governor or in elected office at all. But I had some understanding of the value of public service and dedication. Started with my parents and their involvement as public servants in the classroom and also as union members. And their work inspired me to run for office because of their selfless dedication. So I want all of you to remember that, regardless where you come from or who your family is, you have exactly what it takes to become a leader, especially if you stay engaged with the issues that are important to your community and the world around you. So with that, I just want to take another moment to recognize everyone who submitted an editorial or a cartoon. I say that because you've demonstrated your creativity and your thoughtfulness around the importance of the First Amendment. So I'm sure that this wasn't an easy choice for the judges. So I would like to give a special congratulations to the winners of today's contest. And just know that I can't wait to see your work published in papers all across the entire state.
I am pleased to welcome you all to the awards celebration for Wisconsin's 2021 Civic Games. This has been an extraordinary competition, one that has substantial benefits for those who watch today, as well as for those who have competed. The 2021 Civic Games has been extraordinary due to its focus on the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. This focus has guided the participants' editorial writing and cartoon creations. The First Amendment provides, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. A conversation about the First Amendment benefits everyone because the First Amendment touches three fundamental aspects of democracy: freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of assembly. Conversations about democracy are important because they remind us of what we have and how to preserve it. The United States has long been the model for democracy for the rest of the world. And although we don't think about it because we tend to take democracy for granted, maintaining a democracy requires that we be knowledgeable about democratic practices. Maintaining individual freedoms, such as freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of assembly, are important practices in a democracy. We need to remember those practices that promote personal liberty, because they were required to begin our democracy, and they are required now in order to sustain it. Many parts of the world do not have that knowledge, and sadly, some people in our own country do not as well. The Founding Fathers' enactment of our Constitution was grounded in the involvement of educated citizens who could exercise the power of government while preserving individual rights. The United States Constitution itself begins, "We the people." Its greeting is an affirmation of inclusivity. It acknowledges all of us, old or young or in between. However, to be included takes more than just the words in that great writing. It takes an ongoing conversation by all of us to be engaged and to learn what is going on in government. Democracy gives us the right and the responsibility to participate. When I was in high school, civics was a required course. Way back then, you had to be 21 years old to vote. And of course, now you can vote at 18. So learning about civics early is even more important. Democracy and society as a whole have become much more complex, and students have less time to understand government and the important role that each of us plays in preserving democracy. In Wisconsin, as in the federal system, we have three branches of government: the legislative branch that makes the laws, the executive branch that enforces the law, and the judicial branch that interprets the law when conflicts arise about what the law requires. Each branch is necessary to our government. Our Constitution is our framework for all three branches of government. In Wisconsin, we are subject to the proscriptions and protections of both the United States Constitution and the Wisconsin Constitution. Retired United States Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor has said that civic learning is educating students for democracy, and that is equally as important as mathematics, literature, and science. She explained that research has shown that the better people understand our history and our system of government, the more likely they are to vote and to participate in civic life. She encouraged extracurricular activities that focus on civics, just as the civic games do. As you learn about state government, you will also see ways in which you can participate, such as writing a letter to your senator or representative, working on an election campaign, getting your legislators' vast email lists so that you can receive regular reports from your representative and your senator. Well, it has been said that many high school students do not have an adequate understanding of how our government works. You, the participants today in Wisconsin Civic Games, are not among that group. I congratulate each of you on your outstanding knowledge of the government that has brought you to this level of the Civic Games competition. I also congratulate Wisconsin Newspaper Association Foundation for supporting this statewide competition. COVID-19 did not get in the foundation's way. It rose to the challenge and created an innovative competition, editorial writing and cartoon creating, all focused on the First Amendment. The democratic rights and responsibilities of an independent democracy require attention, and the civic games are an engaging and an innovative way to generate necessary attention. Good luck to each student, and thank you all for participating. And as I often hope when I meet with students and talk with them about governmental matters, I'm hoping that maybe this competition will develop a couple of lawyers. At least I'm hoping so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Barnes and Justice Rogensack, for your remarks and for your strong and ongoing support of the Wisconsin Civics Games. And before we get to the winners of the contest, let's thank the judges who had made the difficult decisions about who the winners would be. The winning entries in the editorial cartoon contest at the middle school level are honorable mention, Sophia Cetera, who will be an 8th grader at Bristol School District. And in first place, Evelyn Luffler, who will be a 7th grader at Glenbeulah Middle School in Elkhart Lake.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Luffler. I'll be entering the 7th grade this fall here in the village of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. In my cartoon, you see a drawing of a mom in her kitchen asking her daughter why she said something. The child in the next room replies with, "Well, it must be true, I saw it online." I was inspired to make this cartoon because it's a common theme in our household. Whenever we're sitting at the dinner table or in the family room and somebody decides to share a fact that they read or heard, my parents ask where our source came from. I've learned from home and school that it's important to get your information from reputable and unbiased sources. The best way to do this is by doing a little homework. My teachers and librarian have shown me what websites are good for research papers. It's also important to focus on primary sources such as original documents, letters, photographs, speeches, videos, or certificates. Sometimes one short video clip of what someone has said can be taken out of context. You need to see the whole video and listen to what the person said before and after the comment, so that we can really understand what they're trying to communicate. Same thing goes with news headlines. We really need to read the full article before making any judgments. This contest is about the First Amendment, which deals with freedom of speech and freedom of press. Most of my generation gets their information off of the internet. We have multiple social media accounts where the news feeds can pop up. There's a lot of information thrown at us that we sometimes get confused as to what is true and what's fake. And we need to learn how to filter this out. But because the internet reaches a larger audience and authors can choose to be anonymous, it's important to fact check so that fake information does not spread like wildfire. The First Amendment protects what these authors write unless the content has become a true threat. I entered this contest because my parents saw an advertisement for it and they told my brother and me that writing about the First Amendment was an important topic because it affects us all. It protects our rights and freedoms as an American citizen, which is important in any democracy. In short, my cartoon means don't always believe what you read online. Even if it seems true, you should still research and search it more. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my cartoon as much as I enjoyed making it.
Hi Evelyn, I'm State Representative Tyler Vorpagel, and I just wanted to take a minute and send my congratulations and recognize your accomplishment in getting first prize in the editorial writing and cartoon contest. I know you worked really hard and have made this a great accomplishment for you. So on behalf of myself and the constituents of the 27th Assembly District, congratulations, best wishes, and we expect great things from you moving forward.
Hi, this is Senate Majority Leader Devin Lemieux. I'm here to congratulate one of my constituents, Evelyn Loeffler, for taking first place in the 2021 Wisconsin Civics Games Editorial Writing and Cartoon Contest. Congratulations, Evelyn. Keep up the good work and keep using your creative mind in the future.
The winning entries at the high school level for the editorial cartoon contest, honorable mention, Elijah Ashley Youngblood, who graduated from Cristo Rey Jesuit High School this year. Third place, Charles Luffler, who will be a sophomore at Glenbeulah High School in Elkhart Lake. Second place, Marisol Ramirez, who graduated from Milwaukee Cristo Rey Jesuit High School this year. And first place, Anne-Marie Morrison, who will be a senior at Lafarge High School.
Hello, my name is Anne-Marie Morrison, and I'm here to talk about my cartoon. My cartoon is a collage of groups of people who have been pushed to the side or undermined when they try to talk about problems like their culture being used inaccurately, their bodies, their religion, systemic racism, all of these real problems that, when they talk about them, they become fake to society, which is unfair because everybody should have the freedom of speech, and everybody should be able to talk about what they believe and protest for who they are or problems that are going on within their culture or race or society. Minorities have been pushed to the side whenever they try to use their voice to talk about how they feel America is treating them and society as a whole is treating them. I saw this contest as just a way to put something out there, a creation, a piece of art out there that sends a message that these people are hurting and they're not being heard and that they're tired. And it needs to end. Everybody deserves a voice that they can use for what they believe in, especially when it's so direly important. So, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share a piece of work that I hope sheds some light on the injustices and inequalities of minorities in America. And I hope that we can all start forth and try to endorse a positive change. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brad Path. I'm a Wisconsin State Senator from the 32nd Senate District, representing La Crosse, Vernon, Crawford, and Southern Monroe counties, the Driftless region. I want to take a moment and congratulate Anne-Marie Morrison from Lafarge High School for taking first place in the 2021 Wisconsin Civics Games Editorial Writing and Cartoon Contest. Job well done. Democracy is an important thing, but it's a very fragile thing. We need young leaders like yourself to continue to step forward and to lead and to provide guidance. Because in order for our democracy to continue to flourish and to move forward, we need leaders such as you, Anne-Marie. I go back to quote John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, in his first inaugural address, made the comment that ask not what your country can do, but ask what you can do for your country. So I share that with you. But I also share with you the words of Franklin Delano Roosevelt in his first inaugural address. And that is, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. So thank you, Anne-Marie, for your work. Thank you for continuing to believe in our democracy, for recognizing the fact that there's more that unites us as a people than divides us. And also recognize the fact that while it can be difficult in order to get legislation passed, and while there can be extreme partisan politics that take place, always remember the words of Winston Churchill, the former Prime Minister of Great Britain, when he said, democracy, it can be the worst form of government, except when you compare it to all the others. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for your work. Good luck to you in the future, and please don't hesitate to ever reach out to me if you ever have any questions here about the Wisconsin state government. Congratulations.
In the editorial writing contest, at the middle school level, third place goes to Addison Palmer and Eve Brandt, who will be entering the 8th grade at Bristol School District. Second place to Jonah Bratcher, who will be entering 8th grade at Loyal Junior High School. And first place to Lana Centano, a homeschool student from Wittenberg, who will be entering 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Lana Centeno, and today I'll be reading my essay along with answering a few questions. Dear editor, can you imagine life without the First Amendment? If I was not allowed to speak about my beliefs, then I would not be writing this letter. Freedom of speech is an essential. Without it, even some of the simplest things would be restricted. Imagine a book club has a party and orders an almond cake. 2 of the members are deathly allergic to almonds, but a member points the detail out. If the member had not been allowed to speak, then later a much bigger dilemma would have affected the book club. Of course, there are negative aspects to having freedom of speech. One of its downsides is that freedom of speech can allow people to say very hurtful words about others. Then again, with freedom of expression, you have the opportunity to call out such people. The First Amendment allows more than just voicing opinions. Freedom of the press is included, allowing important news to reach the population. It also includes the freedom to assemble and freedom of religion. I've only shared several examples of why the First Amendment is vital. For this and many more reasons, I'm thankful for the First Amendment. Sincerely, Lana Centeno. My inspiration for writing this essay was about the late protests that have been happening this year. I wanted to know what was legal and what wasn't. Well, I did figure out with the First Amendment. The reason I entered this contest was because I do have a passion for writing and have done competitions before, though they were about creative writing. I wanted to go a bit out of my comfort circle and try new things, and I did like this form of writing.
State Senator Robert Coles and State Representative Gary Token were not able to join us for today's virtual celebration, but they have extended their enthusiastic congratulations to Lana. At the high school level, honorable mention goes to Quentin Lathrop, who graduated from North Crawford High School in Soldiers Grove. Third place to Tessa Tolomeo, who will be a sophomore at Cedarburg High School. Second place, Charles Luffler, who will be a sophomore at Glenbeulah High School in Elkhart Lake, a double winner. And first place, Joshua Cow, who will be a senior at Indian Trail High School and Academy in Kenosha.
Hi, my name is Joshua Chow. I kind of entered this contest on a whim. I got the information sent to me through an email, and with the cash prizes, I thought, why not give it a shot? So I noticed a lot of tension between individuals, between the political parties, with the pandemic, with the election, with the racial equality movement, and that kind of inspired my essay, and here it is. Freedom is intrinsically woven into the ideals of our nation and our Constitution. From elementary, we are schooled in our country being the land of the free, and no other amendment protects our freedoms as much as the First Amendment. The freedom of speech allows us to engage in discussions that can foster new ideas and healthy conversations. However, with this freedom comes a price. Harsh rhetoric now permeates the media, and increasing hyperpartisanship and unwillingness to listen creates a chasm that divides our nation. With a few exceptions like slander and libel, the First Amendment lets us speak our thoughts without fear of government retaliation. Yet, as the world becomes ever more interconnected in the digital era, we've also learned how to push others away. We stay in bubbles of agreement and bathe in pools of concurrence, casting away those that don't conform. Rather than use the opportunity to speak with each other, we only truly listen to those that reinforce our own beliefs. We tune into news outlets that align with our political ideology and isolate ourselves in friend groups that are scared to engage in conversations about controversial topics. The opportunity to engage in civil discourse and have a meaningful discussion slips through our grasp. Rather than be used to divide, the First Amendment can be used as a way to build a bridge to connect both sides of the aisle. It's okay to have steadfast beliefs on issues, but we all must be willing to listen with open ears. One day, my government teacher told me that I would be the Republican presidential candidate in my class's mock presidential debate. After being given the debate questions, I realized that I would have to argue for stricter immigration laws, something I strongly disagreed with as a son of immigrants. Despite my personal beliefs, the debate was exhilarating because I was able to have a meaningful argument that debated ideas rather than attack people. Through this exercise, I was better able to understand the Republican and Democratic ideology, which in turn allowed me to reflect on my own beliefs and strengthen my own convictions. To me, argument is a discussion, and discussion is at the heart of understanding. It's been an especially contentious year with the pandemic and the election, but we must unify rather than be segregated into groups of Democrats and Republicans. The harsh rhetoric of today erodes the soil on both sides, making the chasm grow ever wider. However, the optimist in me knows that there's a way to bridge the divide. We can move closer to each other through our constitutional rights. The First Amendment enables us to speak our beliefs, express our dislikes, and most importantly, truly talk to each other. Thank you.
Hello, I'm State Representative Samantha Kirkman, and I'm happy to congratulate Joshua Gao of Indian Trail High School on his first place win at the 2021 Wisconsin Civic Games Editorial Contest. Joshua competed against other high school students in writing a guest column of 500 words or less about the First Amendment to our nation's Constitution. With this honor, Joshua receives a $500 cash award from the Wisconsin Newspaper Association Foundation. As a state legislator, I know how incredibly important civics knowledge is to ensuring participation in our state's government. Again, congratulations to Joshua and all of our other students who engaged in civic education and participated in this contest. Our state's future is in good hands.
It was wonderful to view all of these winning entries, and you'll have another opportunity to see them as newspapers from the Wisconsin Newspaper Association across the state will be publishing the winning entries. In the coming weeks, look on your editorial page in your newspaper or anywhere in the newspaper to see the winning entries. The editorial page is where many community conversations take place, and look forward to hearing your views in those pages as well. Please also go back to the Wisconsin Civics Games website, wisconsincivicsgames.com, for additional information about the 2022 Wisconsin Civics Games. We hope that you, your family, and many, many students will join us for 2022. Thank you for being with us for this exciting award ceremony.